Welcome to Confidence After Cancer. I'm Gabby Mottershead, cancer survivor, coach and creator of the Powerfully You coaching program. And if you're listening today and quietly wondering why life after treatment feels much harder than you expected it to, please know this. You are not broken and you are definitely not alone. I work privately with women who want to rebuild confidence, identity and calm after cancer treatment ends. So at any point during this episode, you recognise yourself in what I'm describing, you can always book a confidence clarity call using the link in the show notes. And if you're listening while walking, driving, or making a cup of tea, don't worry about remembering the link. Everything I mentioned today is in the show notes. And today I want to talk about something that I see time and time again with women after cancer treatment. Something that can quietly undermine confidence. And it's this, people pleasing after cancer. But interestingly, it often starts with something that sounds really positive, something that sounds really good. And that's gratitude. And it's something I talk about a lot. And many survivors hear phrases like, oh, you must be so grateful to be alive. And of course we are. But what I see happening for so many women is something that I call the gratitude trap. The gratitude trap happens when gratitude slowly turns into pressure, maybe an unspoken pressure, but pressure to be positive, strong, inspiring, resilient, pressure not to complain, pressure not to ask for too much, pressure not to make a fuss. So instead of asking for support, many women become even more accommodating than before. They say yes when they want to say no. They overwork to prove that they are capable. They push themselves to show they are back to normal, whatever that means. And slowly something happens. They stop listening to themselves. And it's interesting to think about why this happens after cancer, because it is so common. And it happened to me for quite a while, and I wasn't even aware of it for a while. But cancer changes many things. It sounds really obvious, but when you say it, your body, your energy, your priorities, but it also changes your relationship with other people. So many women feel incredibly grateful, quite rightly, to maybe their employer for supporting them during treatment. They feel grateful to their doctors and the medical team that supported them, grateful to family, grateful to still have their life. And that gratitude can quietly create a hidden belief, well, I shouldn't really ask for more. So instead of setting boundaries, women often work harder, push through their exhaustion, and silence their own needs. And what's fascinating is that many of the women that I work with were highly capable professionals before cancer, confident, experienced, respected in their careers. But after treatment, doubts have crept in. They may find themselves second-guessing everything, not because suddenly they became less capable, but because they started abandoning their own needs. Confidence rarely disappears overnight. It erodes quietly. And every time you ignore your own limits, every time you say yes when your body wants to say no, every time you minimize your experience, this is something that I see very often in the women that I work with privately. Not women who were lacking confidence before cancer, quite the opposite. Many of them were high-performing professionals, managers, leaders, business owners, women who were very used to being capable, organised and in control. But after cancer treatment, something shifts. They return to work, they try to carry on as before, but underneath the surface, they are exhausted. They start saying yes to everything. They don't want to disappoint anyone. And quietly, they lose their connection with their own needs. And one of the most powerful moments in coaching is when a woman suddenly realizes I'm allowed to rebuild my life quite differently now. A moment that I hear often is a conversation that goes something like this. A woman tells me, I feel like I should just be grateful. Grateful to still have a job. Grateful that my employer kept my position opened. Grateful I survived. But underneath that gratitude is often something else. Exhaustion, overwhelm perhaps, and sometimes resentment. Because life after cancer is not as simple as people imagine. And the truth that most survivors need to hear, something that I want every survivor listening to know, is that you can be deeply grateful to be alive and still want things to change. Those two thoughts can exist at the same time. You can appreciate the people who supported you, but you can still need better boundaries. You can feel thankful for your survival, and you can still acknowledge that rebuilding your life is incredibly hard. Gratitude and honesty can exist together. One doesn't cancel the other out. And so what I see from when I'm working with women who go from that big shift from being just a survivor to being an actual thriver who is loving life, one of the most powerful mindset shifts after cancer is this. You are no longer here simply to survive life. You are here to live it differently. And that may mean redefining success, setting boundaries, letting go of people pleasing, and rebuilding confidence in a completely new way. And this is the work that I do. This is the work that I love helping women with. When they move beyond the gratitude trap, something really powerful happens. They stop shrinking and they start living their lives as the woman they have become. And before we finish today, I want to leave you with a question to reflect on. Where in your life might you be staying silent just because you feel you should be grateful? Is it at work? Is it in relationships? Is it in how much you push yourself? Just noticing that pattern is often the first step in change. And so if this episode resonated and you're recognizing some of these patterns in your own life, I currently open a small number of confidence clarity calls each week, and they are designed for women who are ready to rebuild their confidence and create a calmer, more fulfilling life after treatment. And you can book yours using the link in the show notes. So as always, thank you so much for listening to Confidence After Cancer. And if this episode resonated with you, please consider sharing it with another woman who might just need to hear this today. Because life after cancer isn't just about survival, is it, my love? It's about learning how to live again. And that journey deserves support. So until the next time, I would always urge you, stay safe, and thanks for listening. Thank you.